When first learning about ball pythons, we typically learn of 3 different genes, and that's dominant, recessive, and codominant. If you believe this to be true, then you learn wrong. Hey everyone, like I said in the beginning, this terminology is wrong. There is no such thing as a codominant gene in ball pythons. People have been learning it wrong since the beginning of the hobby, and it's not your fault for learning it wrong, just because everybody uses the word codominant. Even the websites that are supposed to be teaching us what these genes are use the term codominant, and the correct term you want to use for that is incomplete dominant. So incomplete dominant and codominant are very similar in a way, but they're different. So as you probably already know, these genes, incomplete dominant genes, do have a superform. So the superform is basically the complete visual of that gene. The heterozygous form, so let's use pastel as an example. Super pastel would be the superform, right? Which is also called the homozygous form. And the heterozygous form, or het form, would be just a plain pastel. That super pastel is the complete representation of that gene. The pastel is basically half. It's a blend between a normal and a super pastel, and that's what gives you the pastel, the plain pastel, the heterozygous. And yes, it's heterozygous, the same as what you would have like a het for, like a het pied, recessive. It's just people don't use the word het for incomplete dominant animals, or even dominant animals, because you could visually see it, where recessive you can't. So that's why they always say het albino, het pied, whatever. So back into the codominant versus incomplete dominant. When people always use the description of flower, so I'm going to do the same thing. So first, let's go with codominant, because there is codominant flowers. I'm not a flower expert in any way, but I'm going to explain to you how codominant gene does work. And so let's say your normal flower is white and your codominant gene is a red flower. So the red flower is going to be your superform of that gene, right? And your white is your normal. So with a codominant gene, it makes an equal expression of both genes in the mix. So you're going to have your white flower and you're going to have your red flower. You're going to have both of those showing visually in the heterozygous form. And that's basically going to leave you with a red and white flower. Kind of splotchy, like, like the picture shown. I know it's not a great picture, but it gives you an example. So with incomplete dominant, let's say it's the same thing. You got your red super, your white normal. When you blend those two, exactly like I just said, it's going to blend. So you're not going to have an equal representation of both. You're going to have a blend of both colors. So therefore you're going to end up with a pink flower as your heterozygous form. If codominants were actually in ball pythons, let's try to think of how that would work. You would have your super pastel and you would have your normal, right? At each end. So there's your normal, and then here's your super form. In the middle, if that was a codominant gene, what would that look like? It would show normal completely through half of the snake, and it would show super pastel through half of the snake as well. Maybe in splotches. Maybe that would kind of look like a paradox ball python. That's what I would imagine. but obviously paradoxes aren't genetic for the most part, and that doesn't work. So incomplete, it's a blend of the two. If you look at a pastel compared to a super pastel and a normal, it's basically a blend between the two, and that's what makes the genes incomplete dominant. So again, a lot of people use the term codominant. Big breeders in the hobby use the word codominant. I've used the word codominant before.
So with her, we're gonna get some lesser cinnamons and pastels. It's a triple codominant.
But at this point, I just want to stop. I mean, I like to use the correct terminology for anything we're using, and I figure we need to educate people properly and stop using this word. When we continue to see the word codominant used, even in like World of Ball Pythons, it's pretty bad, you know, because it's wrong. And I use the word for plenty of years. Plenty of people still do use the word, and they don't really understand that it's not correct. Incomplete dominant is the correct term, and let's just try to use it. Thank you guys. If you guys see the shirt, please go check out James Redstrom at go check out Redstrom Reptiles at James Redstrom. Where James Redstrom is the name of his channel. You can see it in the corner or in the description. And pretty cool shirts, huh? So definitely go check him out. He has some pretty cool snakes. He does some nice woodwork as far as like making enclosures and stuff like that. And he has a really cool mustache. So go check him out. So let me know what you guys think. Please like, subscribe, and comment. And spread the herps.